people know much about their history, they are likely to proceed with an informed view of the vision that we have as a nation.
Malawi is a small country located in Southeast Africa. It's the second poorest country in the world. It is riddled with hunger, poverty, AIDS, and malaria. Of its 12 million people, over 1 million are orphans under the age of 15. Yet, despite its troubles, Malawi has a unique modern history. In 1992 to 1994, men and women there risked their lives to bring about a peaceful transition from 30 years of dictatorship to a vibrant, multi-party democracy. This story has never been appropriately documented and stands in danger of being forgotten. The average lifespan in Malawi is just 33 years. The people who took part in this peaceful revolution are dying. Their story is being forgotten. The next generation has never heard the history that might give them hope and is vital to the future of their young democracy.
Malawi was still under dictatorship by Kamuzu Banda, Hastings Kamuzu Banda, and he had been ruling the country for 30 years, and his dictatorship was so forceful that people were disappearing. During the night, special branches would come and take people and throw them in the crocodile rivers. And the mothers or the wives would come to the church, and at that time I was general secretary, so they would come and say, my husband has been taken during the night at 3 o'clock in the night and was never to be seen again. So all this happened until 1992, when the Catholic bishops wrote about all the ills which were happening in the country. And when they wrote that letter, there were 7 of them who signed the letter, and it was read throughout the Catholic churches in Malawi. And unfortunately, that letter was discovered by the government, of course, because it had been read in the churches. And when the government discovered that the Catholic bishops had written this letter, there was a very quick secret meeting in Lilongwe, which is the capital city of Malawi, by the Malawi Congress Party, which was the only party allowed in Malawi at that time for the 30 years of Banda's dictatorship. And that secret meeting decided to kill the 7 bishops who had signed the letter. I think the Catholic bishop's letter is the one which triggered the changes which then followed after that, because for myself, with my position as General Secretary of the Presbyterian Church, I found that, well, we had been hearing about people disappearing, people being killed, people being detained without trial, and people being tortured. And here, at this time in 1992, blood was actually going to be spilled right in front of our nose in the church. So it was that which forced some of us to jump into the fire, as it were. It's when we decided, okay, we are going to go and face to face with the Lion of Malawi, Dr. Hastings Kamuzu, and tell him that we were identifying with the Catholic bishops. If he was to kill the Catholic bishops, then he should kill us too. And it was not an easy task at all. It was life or death. Later on, Kulesi, who was then the Secretary General of the Muslim Association, he comes to me and says, we have heard that you have been to see the president. We want to come with you and work with you. So I said, yes, welcome, because the whole thing was that we were not working just for the Christian community. We were working for the whole nation of Malawi. So 1992 was the beginning, and then 1993 followed the referendum, which was really a test case, because for 30 years people had known nothing but dictatorship. And the question which was put to them was, do they want a one-party system of government to continue, or do they want a multi-party system of government to be introduced in Malawi? And gloriously, the people voted for multi-party system of government.
Now, a little over a decade later, this story of positive change is in danger of being forgotten. Malawi's democracy hangs on a thread. The average person does not even know why they should vote. They've lost the dream of peace and self-governance that the founding men and women had for their nation. The government is bogged down by corruption and lacks the educated involvement of its people. Malawi is in danger of drifting away from the principles that led courageous men and women to risk their lives for their people.
I believe Malawians have to be aware that the political freedoms we have, or the peace we have, the unity we have at the moment, did not just come out of fashion. I think there was a sacrifice by some individuals, and of course a number of Malawians who were involved in demonstrations and strikes to fight for this political change. Now that has to come back to the public, to remind them, to say they have to be accountable, because no individual at all in this country achieved this democracy. We achieved as a group, as Malawians. So my view is that this film would raise awareness on the importance of sacrifice and nationalhood. We have to make sure that we maintain the democracy we have. We have to promote and we have to safeguard the human rights that we can see at the moment, and perhaps enhance it more.
An African proverb says, "A people that doesn't have a past cannot have a future." Before these voices are lost, they must be documented in a way that will serve the people of Malawi and perhaps the world. The story of Malawi offers a vivid alternative to dictatorship, a homegrown, self-initiated democracy. Would you consider partnering with us to rescue the story of Malawi and these courageous men and women before it's too late? The purpose of this project, Moments in History, is to document the story of Malawi for its people in a visual language that the next generation will understand.
And we'll be able to give generations that come after us the story of the transition. It will help educate people about what are the values that underlie that political struggle for change. It will also preserve lessons for peaceful dispute resolution, which is what happened during the transition. There were a lot of tensions, but Malawians were able to resolve their differences peacefully and manage such tremendous change peacefully. Investing in this project is not only going to benefit Malawi, but the whole world which shares the values of democracy.